definitely didn't forget about Sardegna. Definitely didn't at all. So, let's get this show on the road. As we're going to hold on just for a little bit, let a couple of people come in if they wish to. Hello, hello, hello. So, we'll give it another minute or two. We'll just let, like I said, we'll let people come in. Whilst I'm letting people come in, I'm going to get the standings up from way back yonder. Although, to be fair, we can have... Okay, yeah, well, okay, no, we're not going to be doing that. I'm not going to be talking about that one. Right, standings. We need to go back to the land down under and land down yonder. There's tier 4, there's tier 4. Here we are. Right, sorry, I've still got a little bit of a sniffy nose, even though I was away on holiday for a week. I still caught a cold / COVID / flu of some sort of weird description. Most of it's gone. Still a little bit of a bunged up nose, so I will try not sniff too much. If I sneeze or cough or anything, I will mute the mic before I blast your speakers out of the walls and out of your phones and cause internal hemorrhaging and bleeding from your eardrums. So, welcome to Sardegna. I know I'm a bit behind considering we've already crowned technically 2 champions this season because we've just done round 7, but that's not the point. We're going to come back to round 5. I'm just going to very, very quickly round off the top 3 because I'm not going to bore you anymore. We got the Terrorist, or Mugafa, I should be saying technically, who's in first. We then got GKR in second. We got Danger in third. That's your top 3 in the driver standings, with the McLarens taking first position, closely followed by the Peugeots in second, with the Ferraris bringing up the top 3. Now that the standings, and this will be simultaneously fun and painful to watch for me. Perfect. I love it when good things come together. Right, so we got GKR in first, we got Moo in second, Turbo in a great third position, Grin in fourth, Chaos in fifth, Danger in sixth, Obi-Wan in seventh, Hamilton's in eighth, Jez is in ninth, and Kovacs is bringing up the top 10 with Simba in 11th. In the beta we got Fracas in 12th, Blade in 13th, Fred in 14th, Gump in 15th, and Noddy it bringing up the rear. Why did I think this was a Honda S2K for a second? Because on the thing it looked like it, but anyway, I've then realised it was a Jaguar because you can't get an Honda S2K in a GR3 race. Mark Deventop, okay. Is it Grin? G-R-Y-N. Is it Grin or is it Gwyn? Like, how do I pronounce it? Because I've clearly probably mispronounced this for like nearly 5 rounds now. How do I pronounce it so I can try and get this right? Whilst you're coming back to me, we're going to get cracking. I will keep an eye on the comments section. As we've got 5 red lights, a long hold, very long hold, and away we go. Turbo gets a great start. GKR gets a okay start in the McLaren, considering it has a bad start in the background. We're 3 wide with one of the drivers. GKR's already down to third. Turbo's in second, moves in first at the moment. Oh dear. Oh dear. So there's a little bit of contact between Turbo and Moo. GKR retakes second place. Turbo drops down to third. Grin is in fourth. Oberman's in fifth. Chaos is in sixth, who split the Peugeots. Hamilton's in 7th, Chase has got a good start in 8th, Danger's all the way down to 9th with Fred in 10th. Kovacs is now down to 13th after being in the top 10, so he's dropped down 3 positions. Fracas has dropped down 2, Gump's now dropped down as well, as he's now just hitting the back of the McLaren driver of Nordy, who's gone up the inside. Oh dear. I saw death. I'm guessing it's up here. This is where my money is. It's somewhere in this vicinity. And I was kind of right. I saw death. Accurate. Yes. There's always one death on the opening lap in Tier 4. That is guaranteed. I can almost guarantee it. So Chaos gets a bit of an unsquiggly... Ah, I see it. So Chaos gets a bit unsquiggly. Hamilton avoids well. Jezza, on the other hand, decides to commit daylight robbery and murder and gets away with it as well. Ah, hello. So we have the murderer is now up into 10th, now down into 10th, up into 10th position after brutally murdering a car that was completely innocent and had done nothing wrong at all. Yeah, I know you profited from it. Speaking of profit, Profit has moved himself up into 8th position. Moo's just set the fastest lap because he's leading the race at the moment. Simba's doing a great opening lap, up to 7th, fighting Fred at the moment as we come down the start-finish race. We're side by side going over the start-finish line. AMG should have the slightly better legs in the straight, but the Beetle's got a slightly better brake, but Fred's going up the inside, just about makes it work. Kind of gives Simba a bit of a push-off line and says this is my corner, but you do have to leave a little bit of space. Jezza, oh sorry, I should be re-saying, the murderer overtakes Simba and capitalises on the little push out from earlier. These were probably fun battles. Yeah, they look it. Right, let's go further forward because I spent quite a bit of time in the midfield. I need to go a bit further. I want to go a bit further forward and keep an eye on what's going on up ahead. Nothing's going on up ahead. Well checked. Good work, guys. Get further back. Danger. Ooh, nearly gets out-braked by Fred. Gets a good exit though. Fred does go in a little deep, but it's okay. He's made it work. Gumps up into 11th. Great opening lap. Fracas is in 13th. Kovacs is struggling a little bit here. Chaos has already made up a spot. And Blade in the Z4 is bringing up the rear at the moment. Phone, will you stop locking and just keep open, please? Let's go. Yeah, we'll go up here. Let's go up to the top 3 because these guys are reasonably close. There's way too much confidence in the AMG brakes around here. Yeah, I mean, they're okay. Someone had to say in the back, yeah, I mean, the kids have got to you got to make sure the kids get home safely. Fracas going up to 12th, going back to where he started, so making a bit of progress. I'm not seeing anyone spinning out either, so it's always a good place to start. Let's go a bit further forward again. We're going to probably stay around this area at the moment. I'll consider it a few. Speaking of considerate, Grin and Obi-Wan side by side going over the final couple of corners. It's not really a place you typically go side by side. It's very, very tricky to get through there side by side at the best of times. So Obi-Wan makes it work, gets a really strong final corner as well, fires it down the back straight, no, the main straight, excuse me. is now in chase of Turbo in third position. We're going to jump on the top two. There's not too much going on. Moo at the moment is in good control of the pace. GKR's reeling him in just a little bit. Let's see what we got. No spins out coming out of that sequence, the first sequence of corners either, apart from the opening lap. So it's again good to see. Oh, Fred got a little bit loose. Can Danger capitalise? He does have a little look down the inside. Danger has a little bit of a moment on himself. This is going to give Fred a little bit of breathing speed, but here comes the murderer from the lap one incident. Can he? No, not quite. I'm going to stop calling him murderer and I'm going to call him Jezza. Oh, Jezza, great exit, great final corner. Gets a good ride. It's going to tuck into the slipstream of Danger. Really rev out that Ferrari. 458 as we come down the front straight. Does have a little look. I'd set this a bit early. I would have stayed in the slipstream just a little bit longer. Could have gotten a little bit closer. Jezza opens up turn one more than Danger. This might help him through the next sequence of corners. As we're on lap 5 and you guys are exploding in the chat group, which is rare for me to have, to be honest. I don't usually have this many people in, which is quite nice for a change. Simba all over the back of Jezza at the moment. And we've got another little battle progressing further back. Fracas up to 11th, Gump in 12th, Noddy in 13th, Kovacs in 14th at the moment at the back of this group, starting to chase down a potential 13th or 12th. Oh, Gump's gone wide. Noddy goes up to 12th. Gump loses out 2 places, so Kovacs is now up to 13th as there's contact between these two. So I'm going to go back and have a look at these. Just a bit too hot in to the right-hander. It's quite a tricky corner. Okay. Gump is fully alongside. Kovacs turns in basically in anticipating that Gump's not going to be there. This is what I'm currently seeing. You can see by his steering angle. There. He's committed to the corner now. Gump, on the other hand, is trying to now turn in. He's braking and turning, so he's now going to understeer a little bit. Yeah, 2 going into 1. That's never going to work. Gump going off, having dirty tyres is not going to help. Gump's being actually quite respectful. Well, I don't know if he's being quite respectful or just lifting because he couldn't make the corner. As Kovacs goes off again himself, it's hard. I'd probably say that's a bit more of a racing incident. I can't really say that anyone's at fault. If you had to put blame, I'd probably say probably an even 50-50 because Gump could have bailed out of it, but Kovacs could have left more room. If I'm being super critical. But again, that's down to the stewards to decide, not myself. Now, going further forward, Obi-Wan all on across the back of Turbo's mirrors at the moment. Grin in 5th, holding on well. How is Hamilton going off wide? He's got himself a 1-second penalty. So Hamilton goes off wide in a place that you don't really see drivers going off wide either. Fred having a better race than his teammate at the moment in 7th. We got Danger in 8th. I'm going to go a bit further forward. How close are these two? They're close enough for me to observe. As we got the Blue Dragon sponsorship down in the bottom left. Turbo goes wide in the penultimate corner. Who gets a good drive? It's Turbo who's got a good drive. It's probably going to save him temporarily. See, for the final, I'll come on to something in just a moment. late on the brakes, everyone is. But as wise as his Star Wars companion it is, I don't think Obi-Wan's going to make a move at the moment. However, he says he's getting really close coming out of the end of Sector 1. Forces Turbo to go defensive. Obi-Wan opens the corner. Does he get a good exit? Turbo does a great job at keeping that car tight to the right-hand side of the track. Hamilton drops down to 7th after serving his 1 second penalty. We're going to come back and join the back group in just a moment. Everyone has a little bit of moment. This is going to give Turbo a little bit of breathing room. What I was going to say was, I think you should have this, like swap the colours, make this white, this black, and just move that down here and just have a big at the end of the final season, if it's allowed. Maybe check that first. You know, because we like being PG and all. So move on. Unlikely. Let's go back. Oh, Fred's got himself a half-second penalty. What did he do? When did you get that? That's how he got that. He completely cut the final corner. So, half-second penalty for corner cutting is not going to help you, considering you've got all these guys behind you. So Fred's going to have the lap of this light around Sardinia to really sort of hold on to a good spot at the moment. We're going to stick with this group. I know we skipped back on the fair a little bit, and I wanted to see. I raced here, so Sardegna B, I've kind of got a love-hate relationship with this track. It flows nice. There's a couple of corners which are really just icky, and they just don't feel like they belong on this track. Going further forward, Hamilton all over the back of Fred anyway. Fred serves his penalty, loses the place to Hamilton. Is he going to lose it to Danger? Potentially going to lose it to, yeah, definitely going to lose it to Danger. Danger's got a little bit too much overspeed. Can Jezza become part of this picture? No, brakes a little bit early. Or probably hits his mark actually, looking at his turning point. Hits it nicely, gets really close to the back of Fred at the moment. We'll come back to my feelings in Sardinia in just a moment. So, my feelings in Sardinia. It can have its good moments. The track does flow, apart from this corner here. I hate that corner. I just can't stand the corner. It feels like it either wants to be a hairpin or a 90-degree. It feels like you should be able to carry a lot more speed into it, but you can't. Apart from that, it's not a bad track. Going further forward, JKR's caught up to the back of Moo. Moo's tyres are now starting to feel the effects of Moo sticking in the 120s consistently. It's the first time he's dipped into the 21s. GKR's still in the 120s, so he's pulled about half a second that lap. So battle for first could be on in the lap or two. I'm going to stay here. Obi-Wan dives to the inside, going into turn 1, outbrakes Turbo. Does he hit his apex? He does. He gets a move done into turn 1, so Obi-Wan's now up into P3. He's got Turbo in the Ferrari just behind him, going further forward. Nothing going on up in the top 2. Caught that just in time, perfectly timed. And a great move executed by Obi-Wan. Turbo does have a little look, striking back, can't quite this time around. Hamilton still in 6th, Danger's in 7th, Fred's in 8th, Simba's in 9th, Jezza's dropped down to 10th. So reverse pole for Jezza at the moment, which with 3 laps to go he might consider maybe holding, or might try and push for an extra point or couple of points. Fracas in 11th, slowly catching up to the back of this top 10. Nordi in 12th, Kovacs in 13th, overtaking Gump for 14th. Chaos is in 15th, slowly catching up to the back of this lot, and Droid is bringing up the rear, making sure, as he said earlier, all the kids get home safely. Trust the old BMW to do the job. Sounds glorious in the making as well. Actually, let's go this way. 21-0. So Moo's pulled out 2 seconds on that previous lap to GKR. With 2 to go, it's gonna be tight. GKR's got a lot more tyre, tons more tyre. He could probably go nearly double the distance compared to Moo. So Moo's got to be a little bit more careful. Going a bit further back, Turbo's got to be a little bit careful too. Now, my experience, this corner I have a bad experience on. Funny enough, my first proper season in ALR, which was season 12, nearly 8 seasons ago, I was in an FT1, and it was like 80%, like 80 to 85% completed the race, and I just got absolutely annihilated off. Like, Stuart report form, like it all got settled and all got sorted, but it was 5th, was doing really, really well, and then yeah, just got annihilated off. And I think I finished like 12th or something, outside the top 10 anyway. I think I was outside the top 10. Yeah, wasn't a good. It was kind of good because I just ran on forever and ever and ever and ever, and then just overran everybody. But anyway, after that, oh, Fred just slightly cuts the corner again. Is that gonna be a penalty, or did he just leave enough on the track? I think he's left just enough on the track. Speaking of on the track, Turbo goes off it. Is this going to allow Grin to have a little look? It's definitely close enough too. We're going to come back to that because these two are glued together as we're on the penultimate lap at the moment. 21-0 versus a 21-1. So GKR is still pulling in on the back of Moo, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I think Moo's got just enough pace. GKR doing his absolute best in that McLaren after having a bit of a horrible start. Is having a great race at the moment, sticking to the back of that Jag and catching up actually as well. As we come on to the final lap, coming out the final corner, Moo instantly swipes to the right, not to match for Tinder, but to get over to that pit wall, try and break the toe from that McLaren. As much as he probably wants to swipe right on Tinder, it's not going to be helpful for him right now as we come into turn 1 for the final time in this sprint race. GKR goes a little bit wide coming out of turn 3, so that's going to cost him a little bit of 20. He's just starting to drop off the back a little bit of Moo as well, so that Moo might have this in the bag unless he makes a mistake or runs wide or goes off. Going a bit further back, Grin has recently dispatched Turbo, so Turbo's now down to 5th, Grin's up to 4th, so great move done by Alexis driver. If it's recent, we'll come back and have a look. It is recent. It's quite recent to the point that we need to go back and a bit further. So Grin, I'm assuming, gets a really good final exit, a final corner, pulls out of the slipstream, has the overspeed, is now on the outside, going around the outside of turn 1. Does he hold it? Does mostly hold it. It's now got the inside and then the outside for turn 3. Not really the position you want to be in. Still holds it around the outside. They're still side by side as they come into the braking zone for 4. Turbo's got the inside, but Grin just drives it around the outside beautifully. Gets the move done and sticks it, so Grin's now up to 4th. Obi wants some free air in 3rd. We're going to jump back forward to the front too. As they're coming up to the tricky section of this circuit for the final time. Charging uphill. Both using the apron, well I say the aprons, both using the outer curbs and the blue Astro to really open up each corner, trying to maximise every bit of speed and second, excuse me. As out the final corner for the final time, Moo is going to take victory here at Sardegna in the sprint. GKR unfortunately not able to really touch Moo's run today. Obi-Wan for a good 3rd. Turbo gets back past Gwyn. Can Gwyn get back past him on the line? He's going to. He's just about going to, unless Turbo lifts off it. Hamilton's at 6th, Danger's in 7th, Fred's in 8th, Simba's in 9th, Jezza gets reverse pole for 10th position, Fracas is in 11th, Nordy's in 12th, Kovacs with a bit of a horrible race but kind of recovers it a little bit at the end for 13th, Gumps in 14th, Chaos with a very unfortunate race, comes over the line for 15th, and then keeping to his duty and his word, Blade makes sure everyone gets over the line safely for 16th. So there is the sprint. Am I going to do Monza 2? We'll see. I'd set this up. Literally, I loaded up the sprint for Monza, and I was like, hang on a minute. Did I do Sardegna? I don't remember doing round 5. If yes, interesting finale. Okay. I'd like to. What's it now? 20 past 9. These take about, what, hour and 20 minutes each? I'm up at 6. There's a chance. I don't know. Unlikely. Simply because it is a bit late. I mean, the feature's 45 minutes. It's 20 past now, so I'm not going to be finishing this till about 10 past 10. I really want to be doing this up to midnight. I'd love to, but the neighbours and my partner would probably kill me. I might save Monza for tomorrow. Yeah. Might save it for tomorrow, otherwise I'm only going to get 4 or 5 hours sleep, and that's not going to do too well for work tomorrow. And also gives you guys something to look forward to tomorrow. For those not watching F1. Right, strategies here. Now, I did the reserve race here, and I did the one stop, which I think, and Moo, you're going to have to remind me because this was put in the chat, and Jezza, I think it was something like 17-13 was like the ideal, 17 hard and like 13 medium or something like that. So that is, I believe it's like 17-13 or 16-14 hard medium. I think it's the ideal strategy. The one stop is ideal. The two stops possible, but you have to be. You thought you cut me off on the turn before the very end. Very nice, but not so necessary. Oh, fair enough. Okay. All right, that explains. Yeah, cool. So yeah, the two stop is possible. You have to be driving faultlessly and passing endlessly to make it work. The one memorable race in my very, very forgettable season, I couldn't make the one stop work in practice, so I went for the two. Yeah, fair enough. Some drivers can get the one stop to work, some can't. Sometimes it's not about driving absolutely flat out. Sometimes it's about driving at about the 95%. Sticking to a lap time or as close to lap time as possible. Make the tyres last the distance, because if the less time you spend there, the more time you make here. So I've learned in my period of time. You know what? Ross did something on the Tier 3 green, and I quite liked it, so I'm going to copy him, because why not? So, we got Jezza bringing up the pole position at the moment. I should have done this in the sprint. I might do it next time. Remind me. So, Jezza on the mediums. Simba's on the mediums as well, so is Fred. Danger's the first driver on the hard, and he's on 4th. I'm expecting one stop from Danger, and and the car can do it. The car's definitely can. That car can definitely do it. AMG, yeah, you might struggle a bit. Simba's Beetle probably might be able to. Jez's Ferrari, if you can save the back tyres, definitely. If you can't save the back tyres, no. Good luck. So, turbo, medium on the Ferrari as well. Hamilton's on the medium, Grin's on the medium, Obi-Wan's on the hard, so both Peugeots are going for the same strategy. GKR's on the medium, Moo's on the hard. Okay, so the top 10 has got 3 hard-ons. It's got 3 hard-ons. Okay, and then the rest of Lassard, medium. Interesting. Fracas on the hards, Noddy's on the hards, Kovac's on the medium, so both AMGs doing the same strategy too. Gump's on the hards, so both Jags doing the same strategy. Chaos is on the hards and Blade's on the hards too. So the Lexus drivers, if I'm right, are doing a split strategy. Okay, interesting. Some team working here. Walkthrough is amazing. Pause. Yeah, I'm going to copy what Ross attempted to do. I'm going to do one of these, I think, on a sprint when you guys are all like actually slotted together, because I think it'll be quite good. Bro's paying too much attention for people's smartphones. No, there's only 3 of you. All right, you're not one of them, so you don't count. Right, let's get going. Stop talking about other things, Fred. Right, let's get cracking. We've got business to attend to. Just going to the Ross. Who makes the best start? As we all dive into the slipstream, Hamilton doesn't make that good of a start. Grin does. Can Grin capitalise? So does Moo. Moo makes a great start. Hamilton to the inside, defends the inside a bit further back. GKR loses out to Moo, even though Moo's on the harder tyre. That Jag gets fired up very, very quickly in these rolling starts. Moo does go around the outside as well on the harder compounder tyre, so that's going to be critical for Moo. Getting past GKR quite early, but he goes a bit deep in the corner. Let's jump on from Fracas's point of view, because these 2 are the championship leaders in this tier. Moo holds the position for now. GKR has to back out of it just a little bit. Let's go a bit further forward. What has happened here? Something happened to you because you were 3 places ahead. What did you do? Oh, I'm so glad I caught this. Forget about that. Oh, right. Let's just backtrack a second. So the person who was talking smack about me trying to have a little bit of a laugh with you fucks up. Oh, I'm going to enjoy this. So, lesson. Let's have a look. Yeah. Like, everyone else can do this. So what's going on here, Fred? What's going on here? But like, what's this? Fred? Oh, Fred, you gotta love it. That is a George Russell moment right there. That is a loss of concentration at Singapore George Russell moment. Right, that's it. Right, so after George Russell has a Singapore moment, to pay for the whole track, I'm gonna use the whole track espresso. So, after Fred has had a George Russell moment, and he's lost out to, and he's got damaged as well, which is gonna make his life even harder. What the? Something happened back here. There was a lovely train of cars, and then there wasn't. Did someone just get a bad exit? Nah, someone just touched the gravel. Okay, so Kovacs touches the gravel. There was a lovely train of cars, now there isn't. Going further forward, moves out onto the grass. GKR's just about hanging in there as well. As Fracas is now getting involved. Oh, go on, Fracas. Go on, lad. Get in there. Fracas, does he get a good enough exit? Sweeps back into the slipstream. We're going to jump on board for this, because this, I can feel, is going to get good. Bump drafts GKR. GKR's now got a great run. Goes up on the inside and Moo. Can Fracas follow? Does have a little go. Has to back out of it. It's very close. So GKR's now back ahead of Moo. And Moo's opening laps has just been undone. GKR starting to push on, going to hook up to the back of Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan's on the high, GKR's on the medium, so it's going to be advantage GKR at the moment if he gets off the grass. Hang on. See, you do know how to make the corner. Well done. He does make the corner very well as he goes up the inside of Danger. Danger tries to get the good run and the good drive out. As we come up the hill, he does make that, so defends beautifully. As we come charging around the hill, has a little bit of moment himself. Turbo's now up to 5th, Grin's up to 6th, Hamilton's down to 7th, GKR's now up to 8th, Moo's now up to 9th, Obi-Wan's down to 10th. Obi-Wan's lost out a couple of positions in the second half of the lap. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dearie me. You guys were doing so well in the sprint. So well, I had hope. Hamilton just goes a bit wide and keeps it absolutely pinned on the grass. Never really a good idea. Wade nearly gets murdered by the Alfa Romeo runner. As we come back further forward, Jezza taking the lead at the moment with a very healthy gap to Danger, who's still defending 3rd position from the AMG driver, doing a great job about doing so as well. In doing so too, excuse me. Only lost one place, that could have been worse. You should lose way more. Yeah, I know, but you gave me a lot of smack at the very start for talking about different tyres, and I had my revenge. Using the track you paid for, right? Thought the grass needed a bit more cutting. No, I don't. That's usually Moo's job, as we found out from Alsace. Anyway, let's get back to it. Fred does slightly outbrake. Danger gets a little bit squiggly on the exit, but here comes Turbo. Turbo gets a great run coming up the hills. Does he try and go around the outside? No, he tries to have a switchback. Doesn't work this time. I'm going to watch from this point of view. Moo needs grass. You guys are distracting me because I'm not doing my job. Grin gets a fantastic exit coming out the final corner. Turbos loses out, gets back into the slipstream as we've got a huge battle for P3. GKR is going to potentially look at getting involved very soon. Moo's just behind him. Obi-Wan's in 9th, Kovacs is in 10th, Fracas is down to 11th. We're going to go back further forward to this group. Now, as the pay-to-win driver who has paid to use all of the track and clearly a little bit more, gets a little bit of a push from the Lexus behind him. Turbo tries to have a look around the outside of the Lexus, not going to work this time. Runner-up at the moment, in the current runner-up in the championship. You do miss out. Well, just about. Well done, good job. Runner-up in the championship at the moment, closing up onto the back of this group. And again, Danger defends well, but doesn't really get that much of a run coming up the hill. It kind of groups this lot up a little bit more. I learn from my mistakes, I know. I'm literally here just to take the mick. That's all I do. And comeback possible? Potentially. I mean, you got a long way to go, but it's a long race. No, Fred does get a reasonably good exit in the slipstream of Danger. Is there going to be a potential move on? We're going to stop that and we're going to come back a little bit as GKR goes past Turbo. Here comes Moo as well. Does Moo have a little bit of luck? He does have a little bit of a push. Gives GKR just a little bit of a push. He pushes Grin off the track. Both Moo and Turbo capitalise from Grin being pushed off. technically by Moo, but through a third party of GKR. If that was reported, then it was reported. If not, I'd probably say that's a little bit on Moo, because Moo did push GKR a little bit, but Jim Grin gets a little bit happy on the exit, has to lift out of it so he doesn't do the same mistake as the pay-to-win driver further up ahead, gets half-second penalty for it. I'd say that's a little bit unfair, but I'm sorry for that thunk at the end. God. So, Grin's race has just come from bad to worse. And so's Chaos. When did this happen? This is something I missed. Sorry, 2 seconds. Yes, Chaos, I treat you all equally. I missed that. You're not good. Chaos nearly did this. Oh, okay, that's just unfortunate. That is highly unfortunate, and I'm not even going to take the mick out of that either. Yeah, you did kind of lose it on your own. This, however, I'm sorry, but this is you could 100% potentially avoided this. Okay, alright, you know what, I'll reserve judgment. Maybe not. This is just unfortunate. I can see where Noddy's going. Noddy's like, oh, you're spinning off and your trajectory's going that way. I'll go this way. I can completely see, and I would have done the same. Yes. That, however, is just highly unfortunate. This case was a bit unfortunate because of your initial trajectory. However, I do feel really bad for you because the same thing's happened to you twice and in the opening 5 laps of both races. So round goes Chaos. Chaos doing what his name does best and causing more chaos. Nearly collects fracas, but that's fine. Let's go back to what. Anyway, moving on. We're gonna go back. Yeah, we're back here. I know where we are. We got. It was about here. Oh no, I remember what it was. Yes, I remember because we got to about here. And this happened. I remember. So, both Lexuses are not having a great day at the office. I apologise. Also, I'm sorry, I do reserve a bit of judgment. Now I understand. Fair play. That one was kind of a bit unavoidable. Anyway, let's go a bit further forward. Going further forward. GKR is that a tiny little lift from GKR I just heard? Little engine pitch change. Hello, Turbo. So, the battle for third still very much on. GKR and Moo are definitely making their way through the grid. Both have still got reasonably good and healthy tyres. What are your tyres like? Your Fred's tyres aren't too bad. Using all the track a little bit extra. Oh my god. What the hell did I just witness? Whoa, Moo's had a moment. Okay. Okay, this is basically like the Rangers versus the Marines at the moment, or something with the description. One has a slight hiccup. Now, did you stay flat? You stayed flat. Fair play. Now, here, however, you are turning. You do have dirty tyres, and you're now trying to basically make up a little bit for lost time. You, however, I completely understand why you would go to the outside. I'd probably do the same as well. And you are starting to lift. You are starting to lift and brake a little bit. That is just very unfortunate. That's 3 times it's happened to that corner. Yep, and there goes your race too. Interesting. Did someone... Who's pitted? Oh, someone's already pitted. Yep, there goes your race. That's hard to say. That's very hard to say. I don't... So the thing is, it's the rejoining driver's job to do it safely. As Hamilton gets a really good switchback. Let's stay with these two just for a second. Hamilton gets a really good switchback. A fantastic switchbacks on grid. Makes the move work. Slots in front. Move done. Great work by those guys. Going further up ahead. Blades in 10th. Fracas is potentially about to steal that 10th position. He's going to steal that 10th position. So, great move by Fracas for 10th position. Gumps in 9th. Obi-Wan's in 8th. We're going to go a bit further forward. Moves in 7th after losing out that position to Kovacs. After having a little bit of a moment. Yeah, to be fair, some of these overtakes battles are actually really clean. Some of these incidents are just extremely unfortunate. As we're going to go a bit further ahead, it's Danger and loses out. Here it comes. Alright. So, sorry, I kind of want to highlight a couple of bits. We're going to stay here. So, Danger, after holding on for 7 laps, does eventually lose out to Fred. So, Fred finally gets past us after 7 laps of trying. GKR now in a position to potentially attack. Yeah, Z4's... I don't know. Z4 kind of is a little bit sleepy-ish on the straight, but it's got some serious power to get out of the corners. GKR all over the back of Danger at the moment. As he's got the inside line, he's become round the right hand, and now go fire it up the uphill. Can Danger re-attack? He just tries, now got the inside line. Can he try and hold it? No, GKR just drives it around the outside. So great job done by GKR. A bit further back. Moves now going to try and play catch up. He says he clearly has a bit of a stomach that he wants to feed. And a little bit more. No, it doesn't spin out easy. The thing with the Z4 for me is if it had a bit more better turning, just a little bit more of a stronger front end, I think it'd be quite good. But because it doesn't really have because it doesn't really have a good front end or good top end, it's kind of just it's kind of just a meh car. Like, you can make something out of it in special tracks and circumstances. You can make something out of it. Farkas has got himself a half-second penalty. These guys are all grouped up, so we're going to stay with the script for a bit. Yeah, for being quite a squat car, it's not bad. It used to have a fantastic start. As I showed Ross when Ross started to laugh when we picked the Z4 and I did last to third in one sector. I'm sorry, but I love it when this happens. Fracas doing what he's very well known for. Keeping up the standards. I like it. I like it. Got to be keeping up with the standards. Grin's now up into 13th. He's potentially going to get 12th here. We're going to stay with these guys just briefly before we go back up ahead. Yep. There goes Grin. Fracas is going to slot into the back of that. Is Hamilton going to have a go? Let's just stay here for a moment. Does Hamilton have a go? He does have a go. He does get the move on. He stays up on the inside. Fracas hunts out on the outside at the moment. Yep, Hamilton's position. So Fracas loses out 2 positions. We're going to go a bit further forward. Obi-Wan's still in 8th. Moo's still in 7th. Slowly. That was nearly a feast for Moo. Moo trying hard. Probably trying a bit too hard, I think, at the moment. Trying to catch up to the back of these guys. Kovac's in 6th. Danger's in 5th. GKR's in 4th. Starting to chase down Fred in 3rd, who takes a very interesting line. Keeps it tight through there. Going further up ahead. We got Jezza and Zimba out in front at the moment. Now, battle for 3rd. Fred versus GKR. Mercedes versus McLaren. Now this, in Formula 1, would be a great race. Let's see how this goes. Fred pushes GKR right out to the edge. GKR gets a good switchback, gets a very good front grip on that McLaren. Gets the car rotated, puts it where he wants it. No one really using the out, not as much of the exit of the track as they potentially could. Everyone's keeping it quite tight. As we come charging down the hill, Fred opening up just a little bit of a gap. The tyres on both of these cars a bit similar, if anything, advantage GKR, even though he's gone through about half the field to get to Fred's position. Let's go a little bit further back. The other AMG's in similar spot. Moo's tyres are looking quite good, but he's on the hards. Let's go a bit further back than that. Yeah, we're going to stay around here for a bit. Oh, we are definitely staying around here for a little bit. Hamilton goes up the inside of Grin. Grin drops down to 13th at the moment. Hamilton now up to 14th. Can he get a good exit though? Can he get a good run? He gets a pretty good run actually, a decent run. Opens up a little bit of a gap to Fracas. Grin size I think are the worst out of the whole pack at the moment. Like, not able to have a little look going into turn 1, nor not looking at an inside line either, but all within striking distance, or reasonably close enough to strike, as we've just reached 100 comments on this, which just taken. There's another switch track, same as before. Fair enough. Grin learned his lesson, lifts off a little bit, but you probably could have eased the throttle on a little bit if you wanted to. This gump goes a little bit wide, and the gump goes very much wide. Grin nearly outbrakes himself as he comes into the right-hander. Now tries to go around the outside of Hamilton. That's not going to work. Here comes Fracas. Through goes Fracas. Out goes Blade. What the hell just happened up front? So Gump's had a bit of a bad run in a bad couple of corners. Oh dear. That's twice now. That one. That's a great shot. Yeah, you're nowhere near it. I'm sorry, Noddy. This time, nowhere near it. In this position, you should have lifted off just a little bit, just a smidge. Excuse me as I slowly start dying. Yeah, I'm sorry, Noddy, but in this position, just a smidge bit of a lift. Like, you can clearly, like, you can see here, like, I can see the back bumper. You're not in a position. If I can only see this part of the wheel arch, potential, yeah, it could be move on. But in this position, maybe a smidge bit of a lift next time, because then it avoids things like that. However, putting that aside, Hamilton has got a great run. Does have a look at the inside going into the final corner. Gets Noddy way offline. Hamilton goes through. Here comes Fracas. Fracas is having a little look as well. Who has the longer legs? Turbo comes into the pits on end of 11, start of 12. Both drivers ahead have now got slipstream from the two drivers ahead. Hamilton's now up into 9th, so going up the inside of Gump. Fracas is now going up inside of Noddy. Noddy gives Gump a little bit of a push. There goes Grin. Can Blade capitalise? No, Blade's a bit too far back. So Noddy down a couple of positions. Grin now up. Fracas now up. Gump now down. Hamilton big time up. So Hamilton's up into P9. Yeah, lots is happening in this race. 3 cars and 2 corners. Yeah, I mean, if it's first season, I can understand being a little bit eager. But can I just say, great move done by Fracas up the inside of Grin. That was a fantastic move. The time for hards and softs crossover is definitely on. Who's in the pits, actually? That's a good point. So Fred and Kovacs are in the pits. Moves now up to 5th. Danger's up to 4th. GKR's up to 3rd. These two are still running. Jesse's got to be a little bit careful now. If he's learnt his lesson from Daytona, which I hope he has, he's going to come in this lap. He could do with a 1-stop, technically. So could Simba, so could GKR. Danger's probably on the 1-stop anyway. Moose probably is on the 1-stop anyway. Also. So is Obi. Hamilton could do the 1-stop, maybe might be able to do another lap. You might struggle to get your tyres to go that distance, but we will see. Fracas up into 9th at the moment. I think Grin's going to pits as well. We'll come back and have a look at that in a second. No, so Grin's had a moment. Excuse me. Fred's come out in 13th with fuel. Kovacs has come out in 14th with fuel and 2 new medium sets of tyres. Chaos is in 15th, trying to sort of rebuild part of a race out of this. Turbo's come out on a fresh set of hards and a full tank of gas, so he's going to the end. His teammates in 1st as well, so this entire pack's in a Ferrari sandwich. GKR still goes on. Hamilton's come in. So Hamilton's potentially going to the 1-stop too. Everyone moves up a spot. Grin's come in too. Now, if you guys are telling me that this driver's doing a little bit of that, just sticking the nose up and potentially spinning, that could result in a lot of penalty points. But there's definitely been 2 drivers. One, I can understand not really being their fault. The second was definitely their fault. Oh, as we got action. Going further up ahead, Gump versus Fracas, Jaguar versus BMW. Fracas, does he have the overspeed? Very, very late on the brakes. Simba comes into the pits from 2nd, looking at undercutting Jezza, who's in 1st at the moment. Fracas gets a good amount of power going up the hill, brakes a tad a little bit later. He's got a lot better tyres than Gump. So Fracas up to 7th. Oh, Gump trying to carry just a bit too much speed. Understeers in the dirty air. not going to help him. Now I've got dirty tyres for the final corner, trying to get on power, not going to work. So that's his Fracas's position comfortably. There's Simba. Simba comes out in 8th after Goop's passed. Does Noddy have a go? No, too far back. So Simba comes out in 8th on the hards. So this is it. Simba's one and only stop has been complete. It was a no save. Like, don't get me wrong. Goop saved that very, very well. Fred all over the back of Blade. Fred keeping it very, very tight in some of these corners. Interesting lines being taken by different drivers. Ooh. Doesn't use all the track he's paid for. Jezza comes in. So we're going to jump on board with a rally driver, who then decides to spin out and nearly take out part of the grid with him. As Gump takes a spin and plummets down the grid. We're going to stay on board with Simba. I want to see where Fracas comes out. I want to see if Simba's able to undercut Fracas at all. Yeah. Right, so Jezza comes out. He comes out on the mediums. So Jezza's doing the 2-stop. Does he hold it out in front of Fracas? He does stay out in front of Fracas, so Jezza's still technically net P1 at the moment. Simba's undercut hasn't worked. Got caught in a little bit of traffic. Now, Fred's already dispatched the BMW. Next target on his list is the McLaren of Noddy. But we're going to go a bit further forward to begin with. We're going to go up to the top fourth, third and second, excuse me. Now, I'm expecting the hard runners to come in the next lap or two. I'm incredibly surprised GKR's managed to make these mediums last 16 laps. That's impressive. As well as fight through the field, as well as open up a gap. That is very impressive. That's not a small feat either. Dangers come in. So the first of the hard runners has come in on the end of 16, start of 17. Let's see the Z4 hard at work then. Great power coming out the final corner. Manages to hold off on Kovacs, even though Kovacs has got the better tyre, fresh and medium tyre. Kovacs brakes a little bit later, but Blade swings his Z4 in front, slams the door very firmly shut. Going into turn 1. Danger comes out in 12th into the medium, so that's Danger's pit stop done. Gwen's onto the softs. Probably for fastest lap, I should imagine. Chaos is in 14th at the moment, Hamilton's in 15th, and Tubber's in 16th, but we're going to go a bit further forward. Again, Goop's going to have to come in again. Blade tries to use the power of the Z4 to keep him ahead at the moment. He's got the inside line for the first left-hander, he's got the inside line for the second, but now it's going to be Kovacs' turn for the inside, and slightly later on the brakes for this right-hander. Blade's trying to use the powerful V8 of that BMW to get him up ahead, but no go. Moo and Obi will come in. GKR stays out. This is interesting. So, technically net P1 is now in P2. Isn't Alexis fuel friendly? Yeah, no, I'm going to put sarcasm aside. Yes, very. The Lexus is incredibly fuel friendly. However, GKR is going to have a puncture / no front right tyre if he's not careful. He's going to have to come in this lap. He's lost 2 seconds on that last lap. Now, Moo, on the other hand, come out onto the mediums. That's his one and only stop done, and he's in 6th. Okay, I missed something. Because Simba's been recently dispatched by Fred. So Fred's on the charge at the moment. Sorry, I'm getting slightly distracted between comment section and... Oh my god, he's going on. What time does he do? He's lost another second to his previous lap. He's 3 seconds a lap slower than his best time. He's 2 seconds a lap slower than his average. That's going to cost him. That will cost him. Okay, so you got what? A 25 dead. Jezza, a 22.6. A 21.8. A 22.4. That's just these guys here. Kovacs a 22.1. Moo a 23.4, and he just come out the pits as well. He does not see, he doesn't see, oh, if he doesn't see the wear, then okay, fair enough, but... Right. Fracas has recently done his stop, Coop's in, Chaos is in at the moment, Blade's recently done his stop too. Sorry, I need to stop checking the comment section and being so baffled, I need to start looking at the race. Graham's got himself a half-second penalty, even though he's on the softs. So, Obi-Wan in 7th, Dangerous in 6th. Those two are back together again. Funny enough, moves in 6th, excuse me. Kovac's in 5th, Simba's in 4th. Fred's in 3rd, Jez in 2nd, and finally, GKR comes into the pits. I reckon he's going to the softs. Surely he's going to softs. We're going to jump on board with Moo. This is the drive he's racing in the championship, and I don't think GKR is going to come out in a good spot. Well, he probably is. He's going to come out in no traffic easy, but he's going to have a lot of work to do. Yep, onto the softs. So, GKR is going to try and do 10 laps on the softs. Potential. Green comes in off the softs. He's probably going to go to the mediums and finish the race on the mediums, I reckon. If he can do 10 laps on the softs, that is very impressive, as my friend just loses. No, there he goes. Stop the race now. I'm in 1st. Also, sorry, I've not been paying too much attention. We need to go back because things have happened. Things have happened here. Jezza doesn't quite get the corner he's after. Fred fires it up the inside. So Fred's now in 2nd. Jezza's in 3rd. Simba's in 4th. Simba's got a great run on Jezza. Simba late on the brakes going into turn 1. Jezza down to P3. Simba in P2. We then got Kovacs in P4. Moo in P5 at the moment. Dangerous in P6. Obi-Wan in P7. GKR in 8th. Grim is in the pits in 9th, as we've already... Slow each other down, long straight ahead, just wait. Oh god. Wait. Where am I watching? I have a feeling it's something up here. Am I right? I was going to say, if Fred went into there again, that'd be so funny. Especially if he's finally in a position where he can actually do something on track. Oh, you meant the Merc on Jezza. Yeah. That Merc is... the Merc is quick. It is a very, very solid and strong car. I've driven it for 2 seasons straight. It is very, very good. I was waiting for the overtake. Now I can sleep in peace. Let's see how you're doing. There you are. I found you. Green's come back out in the yep, as I thought, mediums. Blades in 13th at the moment. Starting to chase down Nordi, who's in 12th. Fracas is in 11th. Turbo's doing a great job. Brought it back up to P10 after having a moment. Nearly having another moment as the traction control flickers. Hamilton in P9. GKR in 8th. With OP1 and Danger Mouse in 7th and 6th respectively. Moves it in 5th. Currently sniffing the ass of a AMG. We're going to jump on board with these guys, not to sit and witness the ass sniffing, but to witness an overtake. As we come charging down the hill, through the first left-hander, through the second. Kovacs defends the inside, Moo goes to the outside. Brakes a little bit earlier than Kovacs. Does Moo get the switch back? No! Moo ends up having a collision with Kovacs. And he lifts to wait to let Kovacs back through. Good job, Moo. But I want to break that down. Now, Moo brakes a little bit earlier than Kovacs. That's a good opening. Kovacs is tight and also brake later, so Moo's effectively expecting Kovacs to end about there on the outside. However, Kovacs smartly keeps his car quite tight, brakes a little bit more. You can see 46 miles an hour and 60 miles an hour is a huge difference in speed. And inevitably contact, spin. So if there was fault, it would be 100% on Moo. But because Moo then did this, I'd say it's now fair game again, and Kovacs just lets him back through. Interesting. Interesting the fact that Kovacs let him straight back through, but we will gloss it over that. Now, what is a bit more interesting is GKR has now split the two Peugeots. GKR has also set the fastest lap of the race too, so last 2 or 3 laps, nothing to see there. Respectful rating is alright, fair enough. He felt like he lost it on his own. It's fair enough. We can't argue that. Good. Apart from what do you mean about? Oh no, okay. Don't tell me spoilers. Oh, tomorrow's gonna be good then. Going further forward, Jezza still on the back of Simba at the moment, but Fred's pushing on. 8 laps to go. He doesn't have the tyre or the fuel to do it. If he pits now, he's coming out in the back here. Kovacs is not doing too bad. Again, if he pits now, he's coming probably out behind Hamilton or around Turbo, I reckon. It's a good train of cars, it's just not even really close enough to potentially look at a move. Potentially danger, might be. And yes, I have been avoiding the elephant in the room. Fred, for once, and probably for the only time in his ALR career, is leading a race. If he did the one-stop strategy, this is race win material. This is race win right here. Keeping that, just keep a gap. But because he didn't do the one-stop, he now has to come back in. So he's going to lose the race lead, but it's fine. Different strategies play out differently. But no, fair play, Fred, holding the race lead, consistent lap times at the moment, so good job, well done. I can't nitpick at you too much because you're actually doing quite a good job apart from then, where you had nearly had a little bit of a spin. Going a bit further back. We'll stay in this group at the moment because what's happened? Danger. Danger has been recently dispatched, I'm guessing. Very recently dispatched. Cheeky up, very, very clean, fair move up the inside before going up the hill. Danger tries to respond, not able to respond, gets very close to the back of the McLaren. hate that, that's true. Enjoy while it's last red, I don't think I could. Anyway, yeah, you got a taster first. Got another first. The thing is, sometimes it's not about... GKR proved it. It's not about setting the fastest lap after lap. It's not about being the fastest every lap. Sometimes it's just about controlling your tyres and managing the tyres and managing the gap. Because as you're about... I remember that fair enough. Because as you're about to witness, sitting in first is great. Managing the pace is quite good. But as your tyres start to die off, like they are now, because you have to pit this lap because you've got no fuel left, Simba just has to keep up with you, and he's on the harder compounded tyre. Same with Jezza. Jezza's just got to keep up. Them two are managing their tyres at the moment. As we're going to come back, because these guys are now tussling for positions. It's a bit too far back, so Kovacs defends the inside, GKR goes around to the outside, he has a great run coming down the hill. GKR around the outside, Kovacs up the inside. Kovacs tries to power it up the hill, not able to work this time. GKR does get the position, holds the position, he's on the soft compound tyre and has got fuel to go to the end as well. So this is definitely going to be P4 for GKR2. So in comes Fred. Kovacs is definitely starting to lose out time now, so there go the two Peugeots. I reckon Fred's going to come out ahead of Hamilton, I reckon. Yeah, good. Play because you love it. Don't stop playing because you love it. And it's not because you're not good. You are good because if you weren't good, you wouldn't be in Tier 4. You can drive, you hit your apexes, you hit your marks. Okay, you make a few mistakes. That happens, we're human. You misfueled in a Daytona. That happens, you're human. Okay. Moo's had a little spin. Jez has had a spin. Everybody in this tier's had a spin. Everybody's crashed. But it's okay. That happens. I've crashed. Everyone in this ALR league has crashed and made some mistakes. We're all human. It happens. I just simply take the piss sometimes. But yeah. Anyway, moving on. So, Simba leads the race with 5 to go. Jezza just a bit too far behind, with Moo right behind him on the medium tyres. Jezza doesn't really defend. Moo goes straight on the inside, brakes a little bit. Excuse me, brakes on the same marks as Jezza, so through goes Moo. We might be looking at another, double victory here for Moo, as I've got the slight hiccups. But GKR will take the fastest lap though, and I don't think there's going to be much Moo can do about that. GKR's in fourth at the moment after recently dispatching the two Peugeots, but the two Peugeots are not giving up without too much of a fight, as they're both locked together at the moment and starting to really hit GKR in. His tyres are going to start dying off quite quick. Both Peugeots have got plenty of tyres left. If they don't fight each other, if they work together, they potentially could get GKR back. We will have to see, because it's 21.7, 21.8, 21.9, so they're all about a tenth of a second within, like, losing about a tenth each lap to each other. Jezza P3, Moo opening that gap up to Jezza straight away in hunt mode. He is in pursuit, hot pursuit I should say, of Simba. He wants that double victory here today in Italy. Chaos bringing up the rear at the moment, with Gump in 15th, Grins in 14th, following and chasing down Blade, who's in 13th, Noddy's in 12th, Kovacs is in 11th, who comes out behind Turbo, who's in 10th. He potentially could keep 10th He's probably going to keep 10th. He's a bit too far back for Kovacs to really do anything. Fracas is in 9th at the moment with Hamilton in 8th. Chasing down Fred, who's on the softs, in 7th. What? Kovacs potentially could do it as he takes the fastest lap of the race. He's on the soft. Sorry, I didn't really see what tyres they came out on. Obi-Wan with the half-second time penalties in 6th at the moment, with Danger in 5th. Chasing down GKR, who's on dying set of softs, in 4th with coming up 2 to go. 3rd is Jezza. 2nd is Moo, who has caught up in a single lap to the back of Simba. This is going to be interesting. Simba has to brake mid-corner, goes a bit wide. This is going to cost him momentum. Through goes Moo. Moo doesn't even need to consider looking at a move going into turn 1. Moo then switched straight across to the pit wall, reducing that slipstream effect to Simba, and Moo uses that power of the jack and the momentum to try and open up a little bit more of a gap. Slightly misses his apex, but that's not a problem. He's on the medium tyres and on a lightning pace of 21.5 compared to a 23.4. That's nearly 2 seconds difference. Moose charge is complete after 28 laps. He goes into the lead with 2 to go. Going further back, GKR could be in some trouble at the moment. Not a problem. Asking you shall receive. We'll give you a little bit of spotlight. We'll jump between you and these guys because I want to keep an eye on this as well. I've given Fred a bit of shit this race, I will admit. I also did kind of gloss over the fact that he was in first for a bit, so I'm going to give him a little bit of attention now. Because I'm feeling nice. And because I think people do deserve a bit limelight every now. 6:10 up. Okay, yeah, we're definitely watching this. What lap time are you pulling out the bag? What's going up and up here? Not much. We're going to stay here. How do you get this final corner? Perfectly, absolutely millimetre perfection. Great lap. Lost a little bit of time coming out the final corner. Maybe a little bit of time because you went straight to the left. You could have gone to the... You could have sort of gone to the middle and then swung to the right a little bit, but that's not a problem. You still got the fastest lap of the race so far. So, good job. However, we're going to go further forward because, as I predicted, GKR's in trouble. Danger goes around the outside of him. Danger's now back up to 4th. GKR gone onto the soft, trying to make them last 10 laps. I thought it would be a little bit of an ask. And I was right. Those tyres are about to go pop. Obi-Wan, tons fresher tyres. This should be easy for him as we come charging up the hill. GKR now falls down to 6th position. Fred could potentially sniff P6 here. Depends. Does GKR risk it and stay out? Because there's his front right gone. What does GKR do? Does he stay out one more lap and does he try and hold it on 2 completely dead tyres on a left turning track? Or does he come in? He comes in. On the last lap of the race, he comes in. Moo out ahead at the moment. Just got to hold off Simba. Simba's not able to get close enough at the moment. Jez is in the background. If one of these two crashes, that's another position for him. Danger's in 4th. Obi-Wan's in 5th. Fred's in 6th. Hamilton's in 7th. Fracas is in 8th. Turbo's in 9th. GKR comes out in 10th. No, 11th. As Kovacs goes through for 10th position. So GKR's one-stop strategy hasn't worked. He's come out in 11th after just doing tyres. Noddy's in 12th, Blades in 13th, Grin's in 14th, Chaos is in 15th and Gump's in 16th. Not much has changed at the back of the grid, but we're going to go to the front. We're going to watch these three come through the final sector for the last time. Moo has been dominant this entire season in that Jag. No one's really been able to touch his dominance apart from GKR. GKR's given him an absolute great run for his money, but Moo's just shone out again as he comes out for the off the final corner for the final time. He takes victory here in the feature. Another double victory for Mu with Simba, and a great result for second. Jez is in third, another podium for Jezza. We got Danger in fourth and Obi-Wan in fifth, a great result for both Peugeot drivers. We got Fred, who I've given a lot of shit to this race, I will admit, who has the fastest lap of the race and comes home for 6th position. So a great race from Fred after having a bit of a rough time at Daytona. Hamilton's in 7th, Fracas is in 8th after a great race from these two. Turbo's in 9th after doing a bit of a recovery drive. Also great recovery drive from Turbo. Kovacs is in 10th, GKR's in 11th, Nordy's in 12th, Blade's in 13th, Grin comes over the line for 14th. And let's watch these two coming around the final couple of corners. Chaos, extremely unfortunate and unlucky. P16 to P7, I'll call that a comeback. Yep, it was a good comeback. Chaos comes over the line for 15th, Gunt comes over the line for 16th. Excuse me. I'd probably say I'd probably say the drive for me has to be between these three: Fred, Simba and Jezza. These three, you know what, I'm going to stick there. I think it has to be between these three. Fred for leading for a while and getting fastest lap. Simba and Jezza for making the strategy work. Don't get me wrong, everyone else did. Turbo, fantastic recovery drive, 16th to 7th. Grin, really hard luck in a hard race. Obi-Wan, great race. Where is he? Danger, good race as well. Very hard and unfortunate for luck for GKR, whose strategy didn't quite work out, but Mu did get the double win again. Horrible race / track. It happens to us sometimes, but yeah, we'll stick here. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. Screw it. We're gonna do this. So after Sardegna, if I can get the correct standings up, where am I? I need these, thank you. So Mu still ahead, and he's opening up his lead to GKR, who's 38 points behind. We then got Danger still in 3rd, we got Turbo in 4th, and we got Obi-Wan in 5th. At the moment on the constructor standings, the Peugeots extend and open their lead to the McLarens, who are on 2nd, and the Ferraris are joint 3rd with Jaguar. So there we have it, there's Sardegna. I hope everyone has enjoyed. I'm hoping to be back tomorrow with Monza, which, if you all are saying it's entertaining, then I believe you. But yeah, anyway, take care guys, and we'll see you soon.